Hey guys, this is Nehemiah from Backcountry Beyond, and I just want to talk you guys a little bit through the trekking and hiking poles we have here at the shop. These are a little bit newer to us still, so I want to make sure that folks who are coming in have a bit of a sense of what we've got. So we carry the Leki brand of trekking and what's sometimes called Nordic walking or hiking poles. So these are all going to be adjusting, telescoping trekking poles. Basically, each of these will have 2 adjusting segments to them. All of our poles, regardless of the different models, are going to have the same basic mechanism. So what this is a very easy to operate, even if you don't have quite as nimble of fingers, just a little operating lever here that's going to lock and unlock. So once you open it up, it's going to loosen and allow for that sliding segment. You've got a little scale here. It'll tell you when you've reached the largest portion. You don't want to go too far beyond the max. So you've got 135 centimeter here. You also have a telescoping secondary segment, which uses the exact same action. Now these little locking pieces can be tightened and loosened a little bit too. So just a little bit of a twist on these knobs here will tighten these cams. So if you find that the trekking pole is a little loose even when locked on you, you may just have to give those about a quarter turn to tighten them up. But those 2 telescoping segments will allow you to get your pole situated to the appropriate height for you. For most hikers, you're going to want your pole to sit on the ground with your arm acute of 90 degrees or so, usually with a little bit of a backward slant to it. Each of these poles is going to have a set of wrist loops. These tighten and loosen pretty easily. All you're going to do is you're going to pull directly up, and then I'll actually pop this little piece in. You can now easily tighten and loosen the webbing here. Once it's in about the space that you want, you're just going to pull back down. That's going to lock it into place. When you're hiking with your poles, you usually want to slide your hand through like this and grip the pole like so. And the reasoning for that is if your grip does slide off of the pole, you're still going to be able to catch yourself with that webbing and actually be able to keep yourself on your feet. The poles are going to have different types of grips depending on the model and their pricing. You've got everything from soft cork grips, like some of these, to a harder cork-like material if you want something a little more rigid. And you even have some soft, kind of a fuzzy material that's still got a little bit of give to it. The other differences are largely going to be in the weight of the poles. Generally, with this kind of equipment, the lighter they are, usually the pricier they are because you're getting less poundage for what you're trying to trek with you on the trails. So reducing some of that weight and some of those pounds is usually beneficial. Last but not least, there are going to be women's and men's specific poles. The only real difference between those is largely going to be the amount of adjustability they have. The women's poles are typically a little smaller in their adjusting range, just because women tend to generally be a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter. So you can see at the top of any of these packaging, they're going to give you the range that the poles will adjust to. Women's, we've got here 130 to 180 or about 185 centimeters. The men's are usually going to be a little larger, 140 to about 190 or 195. That's kind of the basic gist of a lot of the trekking poles. If you have questions, come on in and check us out and ask away.